Gaya was a confederation that ruled central southern Korea during the Three Kingdoms period from the 1st to the 6th centuries CE. The peninsula was dominated by Gaya's more powerful neighbors, Goguryeo, Bakje, and Shilla. But Gaya, often the forgotten entity of the period, was nevertheless rich in iron ore, and their craftsmen became highly skilled at fashioning iron objects, such as armor and weapons. The high level of culture achieved by the Gaya states would influence Japan, their most important trading partner. The Confederation came to a definitive end when it was fully conquered by the Shilla Kingdom in 562 CE. The traditional dates for the Gaya Confederation were 42 to 532 CE. However, modern historians prefer to emphasize the entity's more certain existence from the 2nd century CE. The Confederation consisted of 6 tribes, the most powerful of which was the Tai-Kaya and the Kuya tribes, with the latter being known as Pan-Kaya. These had developed from the original 12 states of Bayanhan. The overall area of Gaya control was west of the Natkong River and south of Mount Gaya. The capital was established at Pan-Kaya. The Gaya Confederacy prospered due to its fertile agricultural lands, maritime trade, and above all, its rich iron deposits. There are few details available on the working of the Gaya state or daily life, but we can imagine a similar model to the contemporary Three Kingdoms, with the royal family dominated by a hierarchical aristocracy, which in turn governed the provinces dominated by a farming peasantry. There are some clues to Gaya's religious life offered by artifacts recovered from tombs. There, many pottery vessels contain residues of food, offerings, and suggesting shamanistic beliefs. Some examples of the royal crown imitate trees and antlers, again suggesting links to shamanism. In addition, a mural in a Gaya tomb at Kaodong has the typical motifs seen in Buddhism art, such as lotus leaves and clouds. Throughout their history, the Gaya states were constantly harassed by their neighbors, the Shilla and Bakje kingdoms, and consequently never had the opportunity to form a more centralized state which political stability might have permitted. From the mid-4th century CE, Bakje became more territorially ambitious during the reign of King Kun Chong and attacked the Gaya lands. Then when the Shilla kingdom expanded in the 6th century CE, Gaya's alliances with Bakje did it no good at all, and Pankaya was conquered and destroyed in 532 CE, as was Tai-Kaya in 562, and other important Gaya towns. Gaya Confederation was no more. Ties with the Wa of Japan were particularly close, and scholars continue to debate which culture more influenced the other. The issue is colored by nationalistic bias, so that some historians claim that Gaya was a Japanese colony, while others propose that horse riders from the Eurasian steppes came to Japan through Gaya and introduced the burial tumulus to that culture. Evidence is lacking either way, although most scholars agree that Gaya was the more advanced culture, and recent finds of iron horse armor, notably from the 5th century CE tomb of Pakchandong, suggest that Gaya did master the use of that animal. More certain is that iron was the most important Gaya export to Japan. Early relations with Han China is evidenced in the 1st century CE Chinese coins found at Pankaya and by the presence of a sloping kiln used by Gaya potters. Gaya artists produced gray stoneware, clay pottery in the form of stemmed cups, horn-shaped cups, tall jars with pierced stems, and sprouted vessels in the form of ducks, shoes, warriors, boats, and even houses. Stoneware requires a high firing temperature, and this technology was no doubt connected with the furnaces required to produce iron. Gaya potters likely passed on this innovation to Japan, where the famous Suki stoneware would be produced as a result. Objects were also made of silver and gold by Gaya craftsmen, including high and intricate crowns. Gaya iron products including swords, riveted body armor, helmets, and arrowheads. These were so esteemed as to be exported to the northeast region of Korea, China, and Japan. Other successful exports was the kaigyeom, a zither with 12 silk strings, thought to have been invented by King Kaisel in the 6th century CE, which would be taken up by musicians in Japan and would remain a potent symbol of Korean culture even today. The Gaya region is rich in tombs. Over 1,000 have been identified at Pankaya alone. In the 4th century CE, the tombs of the Gaya typically took the form of a rectangular or oval pit graves set into natural mounds. From the 5th century CE, the Gaya constructed stone chamber tombs, with later examples having a horizontal entrance. We've already mentioned many tombs have equestrian equipment such as iron armor, saddle parts, bits, and stirrups, suggesting that the horse was an important part of Gaya culture and warfare.